So the thing that you just saw was a tribute to The Crow, the 1994 version. This new version, yeah, don't go watch. But anyways, so I did do an intro over there, but it was too noisy. And yeah, so I at least wanted to get some content for that. I took my little girls with me, and they were helping me videotape everything and everything like that. I got to meet two of the actors, which is, if you ever seen it, it's Tintin, I believe his name, I forgot his name, Lawrence something. And then Sarah, the little girl that was in the movie. I just want to drop a real quick thing about that, as well as this vlog is going to be at the lodge. Without further ado, I'll see y'all later. All right. Welcome back to the channel. It's early in the morning. Well, not early in the morning. It's like 11, something like that. I decided to come and play a little cash. It's not going to be a long session. It's probably going to be like an hour, maybe 2. I'm not sure. Just needed to kill some time before I go and run some errands today and everything. But we are here at the lodge. So, in case y'all didn't know, it used to be Rounders. Then the lodge bought it out. And now it's the Lodge San Antonio location. So let's see if we can get into a 1-2 game real quick and see what we can do. Let's go. All right, welcome to the lodge. We didn't have to wait for long. We actually got seated pretty quickly, like maybe 10 minutes later or something like that. But we bought in for $200, and here we go. Folds around to me in the cutoff, and I'm looking down at ace deuce offsuit. I'll go ahead and raise it to $8. Button folds, small blind, and big blind tagline. So 3 ways to a flop, which comes queen deuce queen. Everybody checks to me. I'll go ahead and c-bet to $11. And the small blind tags along. I guess he doesn't believe me. Heads up to a turn, which ends up coming a king of hearts. He ends up checking. I'll go ahead and check back, having nothing for that turn. Gonna evaluate and see what happens on the river, which doesn't help me at all. It comes as 7 of hearts. Now, I don't know nobody at the table. I'm just sitting down, but from what I get from small blind, he's very talkative, very actiony, very kind of actually fun to play with. So he ends up betting $25 just to see what I'm going to do. Usually when somebody is very talkative and bets into me, I kind of just like to see what they have and keep them honest. Most of the time, if they just talk a lot, they just talk a lot. But I'll go ahead and keep them honest and make the call.
You want to hear the news or you want to send in the news?
What? What do you want? What is it? What? Speak to me. Speak.
And he asked me if I want to see the news or hear the news. That usually tells me I'm screwed. I go ahead and just say see the news, and he turns over quad queens. So this is just the omen of what things are going to be coming for this session. But from what I tell, he's a fun guy. It's a fun table. And for the next few hands, I don't get anything. Oh wait, I pick up pocket fours and miss a flop, and couldn't play anything after that. And then this fun hand happened. Basically, it's between the button and the big blind. They end up re-raising and end up getting it all in. Apparently, the button, who is a female, I don't know her name. I'm sorry, I apologize. But I guess she's a YouTuber, so she starts YouTubing this and recording it for her shorts, I'm guessing. And I just let y'all see what happens. That's right. After all that betting and shoving and everything like that, they both have pocket queens. So all that drama basically for none. But it was fun to kind of watch. Even on the bomb pots, I couldn't even make a hand with 4 cards. So after a little bit, they open up a new table and they ask people to go. I go ahead and raise my hand. I wasn't getting anything. and stacks were already kind of big as it is against my small stack. So I'll go ahead and move to this new table that they're opening up. The lodge is actually pretty big. They have a bar, a kitchen, so it's actually very nice. If you haven't been able to go there, go check it out. It's actually pretty nice. They have a tournament going on at the same time, so there's always action at the lodge. So sitting down at this new table, I'll go ahead and add on 100. So now we're in for 300. Stack is totally at 235. Since it's a new table, we open up with a bomb pot. As usual, everybody antes up $5 and they get 4 cards. Nobody pays pre-flop. Everybody gets to see 2 boards, which end up coming 2-7 king with 2 spades up on top, and 9 king 9 with 2 diamonds on the bottom. Your boy's in the small blind, so I'll go ahead and check. Under gun bets $10. The low jack calls. Folds around to me. I'm looking down at king 3-4-7 with 3 clubs. Having flopped a pair and 2 pair up top, I go ahead and make the call for $10, and so does the big blind. 4 ways to a turn, which ends up coming at jack up top and a 9 on the bottom. Your boy checks. Under the gun ends up bidding $20 this time. The low jack calls. I kind of don't know if I should be calling or folding. Actually, let me rephrase that. I should be folding this, but my stubborn butt doesn't know any better. So I go ahead and make the call for 20, and the big blind ends up folding. 3 ways to a river, which ends up coming at 8 diamonds up top and another 8 of spades on the bottom. I go ahead and check. Under the gun bets 50. The low jack calls. I just go ahead and fold. I know I didn't win anything. I was just praying and hoping for something, which in bomb pots you should not be doing. But as played, low jack ends up showing 9-10 queen jack for quad 9s and the nut straight up top, since there are no more 9s. So he ended up having nut. That's what I get for chasing. And once again, I end up being card dead. I end up picking, for some reason, I end up picking up a lot of king queens at this table. I did play one time, end up 3-betting to $75. Villain ends up calling, and the board comes out ace 3, and he ends up shoving all in. So I can't really do nothing much with that. And which ends up coming up to this hand of note. Your boy's under the gun looking down at pocket 9s. Of course, I gotta raise this up to $10. The low jack ends up calling, folds his way to the small blind, who ends up making a call, which puts us 3 ways to a flop, coming king 4-7 all clubs. Ends up checking to me. I have no clubs in my hand, but I try to continue with the pressure and c-bet to $15. And both of them end up making a call. Nobody ever believes me. 3 of us see a turn, which comes another king. This time, everybody gets shy and ends up checking. We all go down the river and ends up coming a jack of clubs. So 4 clubs on the board. Small blind this time ends up bleeding for 30. I go ahead and make the fold, but the low jack ends up tanking for a long time. And you can tell that he's been studying and trying to decide what to do and doing math. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to see. Not saying that, you know, what he's doing is funny. It's part of poker. You know, you have to learn and everything like that. But I hope I don't look like that, because he's being very obvious about it. But at the end, he ends up making a call. Small blind ends up showing queen 9 offsuit with the 9 of clubs. Low jack ends up showing pocket 10s with the 10 of clubs. Thinking if another card but a club came on the river, I think if I would have jammed or at least bet out pretty big, both of them would have folded. But that's wishful thinking, and that's not what happened. So yeah, we lose some money on this one and continue on. After folding my way around, I go ahead and add on for another 100. So now we're in for 400. Stack is at 185 now when this fun hand happened. There's an under the gun straddle for $5. Folds around to the cutoff, who just limps. I'm looking down at king 10 offsuit on the button. I go ahead and just limp, trying to see a cheap flop for this hand. Normally I would raise it, but I'm trying not to test my luck anymore. The big blind ends up limping and undergun straddle ends up checking, which ends up being Texas heads up to a flop, which comes 10 ace 3 rainbow. Everybody ends up checking, so it's still 4 ways to a turn, which ends up coming king of hearts. Ends up checking to me. I go ahead and just try to bet small. I'll go ahead and bet $8, and everyone ends up folding. Come on, man.
Maybe two.
Yeah.
After that hand, our stack ends up coming to a 5, in which we end up being 9-handed, but only 8 of us end up doing this bomb pop. Texas heads up to 2 boards, which ends up coming Jack, Jack, Queen with 2 clubs up top and 6, 2, 3 rainbow on the bottom. Early position ends up betting $20. There's 4 callers. I'm looking down at ace 4, 5, 3. 2 hearts, 2 clubs. Having something on both boards, a club drop on top and the nut straight on the bottom. I go ahead and just call. I'm trying not to blow this pot up, because if you haven't played bomb pots, they can turn ugly quick, fast, and in a hurry. So I just go ahead and make the call. Ends up being 6 of us to a turn, which ends up coming to 8 of spades up top and a 7 of diamonds on the bottom. Early position this time ends up betting 60. So 4 of us end up making the call. Don't think I can go anywhere with my straight, hoping that nothing ugly comes on the turn, which ends up counterfeiting my straight, which kind of does. Ends up being a 5 of hearts up top and a 4 diamonds on the bottom. So 5-8 gets there. Could be chopping with the bottom board. Obviously I lost the top, so I'm not too worried about that. I go ahead and check, and early position ends up betting kind of hefty.
I see you have made your decision. Now let's see you enforce it.
Oh, this is already boring the shit out of me.
Ends up being $200. Middle position ends up folding. Late position ends up tanking, and he's tanking for a good bit. At the end, he goes ahead and makes a call. Folds to me, and I tank about calling or not, because basically the best thing I can do is I win the bottom board outright, so I end up getting half the pot. Worst case scenario, I lose everything. So I end up tanking for a little bit, going through my options, and at the end of the day, I think my hand on the bottom board is just too strong to end up folding at this, even if it means all in. So I go ahead and make the call for 120, and it ends up turning out that early position ends up having a full house up top and the same straight on the bottom. Late position doesn't end up showing, so we end up getting quartered for this, meaning early position ends up taking half the pot outright for the top board, and we get half of the bottom board, so we end up getting quartered. But surprisingly, I ended up coming up $212, so that ends up being something, right? Then after that fun bomb pop hand ends up being right back to where it was at the beginning, getting hands, folding them, raising king, queen, and having to fold it on the flop until this hand happened. There's an under the gun straddle for $5. There's 2 limps, and I'm on the button looking down at king, queen suited. Beautiful hand, so I end up raising it to $10. I didn't see that there was an under the gun straddle. Right when I raised, the dealer announced that there was an under the gun straddle. I can't be mad. Poker is a game of observation, so that's on me. Had I seen it, probably would have been 30, 35, something like that. Actually 40, 45. But as play, I'll go ahead and raise to $10. Folds around to the straddle, who ends up making a call, in which early position ends up doing the old limp re-raise to $60. But king, queen suited in position, I go ahead and make the call, and the straddle ends up folding. So heads up to a flop, which ends up coming 399. Early position ends up checking. I go ahead and check, and we're off to see a turn, which ends up coming at 5 of spades. Early position now leads out for $40. I go ahead and call, trying to actually hit a flush on the river. Hopefully that'd be good enough, in which it doesn't come. Ends up coming to 3 of clubs. Now, early position ends up bidding $125, putting me all in. I tank a little bit and just debating about what hands could he have that would take this line, you know, raising to $60. Over pair, he probably would have bet on the flop. Definitely probably bet bigger on the turn. Having a pair and a flush draw on the board, I think he would have bet on that, and probably even a little bit bigger to deny equity. So I tank and think to myself, well, if he has an ace or better, so be it. But I'm either going to leave broke or leave with a good amount and just walk out. So I end up making a call, and believe it or not, he shows 9-6 of diamonds. What the hell is this dude doing raising $60 from 9-6 of diamonds? Like, seriously. And with that, I am out.
Can't rain all the time.
And just like that, we out 400. I wasn't getting shit. Like, I wasn't getting anything to play with, and then the hands I could play with, they were raising a lot. I'm gonna basically have to sit down with a bigger bankroll than just 200 around here, which is typical. I should have known that, but I just wanted to test my luck, which were none. Yeah. Damn, that last hand, I was just like, I couldn't fold. Like, I could have folded. No, let me rephrase that. I should have folded, but I only had like 85 left. So it was either I'm gonna win that last hand or go home. Well, either way, I was gonna go home. So it was win that last hand and go home with some money, or lose that last hand and leave home with 0, or go home with 0. And guess where I'm at. So yeah, obviously it's a lodge. I like it. Very aggressive kind of place. You're gonna have to here. You can't just buy in for 200. You're gonna have to sit down and basically buy in for about maybe 500-800, just so you can have some sort of maneuverability with them raising and everything like that. I said, which is cool. It's just one of them things where it's just Texas poker. That's Texas San Antonio Lodge poker for you. But it is what it is. Take this on the chin and move on. Let's see where else we can go. Trying to think. Today, not the day. I got some errands to run, but I'll probably take y'all somewhere else, maybe SA or something like that. I'm not sure. But until next time, if you like the vlogs, all right, I don't know what happened. I guess I'm accidentally stopped it or something. But yeah, I'm editing this vlog and realized there's no ending. So like usual, if you like the vlogs, please leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Okay, I'll see y'all later.